Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here, Earth and Sky. And those of you joining us online, we are really grateful and appreciative of each and every one of you. We are almost at 100 likes on YouTube. And so if you would subscribe to our channel, it would really help us out if you haven't already subscribed. Once we get to 100 subscribers, we can actually name our channel, which will make it so much easier for everybody to find us. And that will be something we're really grateful for, which leads me into what we're talking about today. You guys have all just probably celebrated Thanksgiving since that was on Thursday, and I just wanted to just kind of bring up a little bit of reflection about gratitude. Some of you may have had people that you celebrated Thanksgiving with. Others of you may have just had some time and space by yourselves, or maybe with your partner if your family's in a different location. But it's a great time of year to really kind of reflect on what you're grateful for within your life. And what does gratitude really even mean? And why do we need to come to this each time of year where we start really looking in at what we're grateful for? Well, one of the things that I really like with gratitude is the fact that what you focus on is what you attract. So if you focus on what you're grateful for, then you're going to start attracting more and more of the things that you're grateful for, because it's going to magnify within your life. And you'll start, each time I've noticed for myself, if I focus on what I'm grateful for and what I have that I'm really thankful for in my life, it helps me to kind of reset too. If I get into that state where I'm maybe not as happy as I would like to be. I know this last couple of years has been really rough on us with a lot of the kitties that we've lost, and I was just taking stock of this a couple days ago as I was thinking about how I handled the first 11 losses okay in the last 3 years, and the last 4 have hit me so very, very hard. And I really had to just kind of take stock again of what we do have and what we're grateful for with the kitties we have. We recently brought in a new stray kitty, Prince Philip, who is really bringing the life back into our household. It's amazing to see him as he plays. He brings out every single toy he can possibly find, and he's got all the other cats playing again too, because a lot of the cats had started to fall into that cycle of grieving. Every sentient being is going to grieve when they feel a loss for something, and it's important to figure out what can help bring that joy back. I know JJ talked a bit about joy last week, and it's just one of those things where as I was starting to feel a little down about it, I looked at Prince Philip and realized there's still a lot of life to go and a lot of things to be grateful for and a lot of joy still in the world. And then I was looking at what the definition is of gratitude. So it was a couple things. One, the quality of being thankful. And even within that sentence, it's, if you think about it, the quality of being thankful. There are different levels of feeling grateful for things in your life. There are some things that you'll feel very thankful for, and other things you might feel like, well, that's nice. It's good that it's there. And then sometimes there are those things that disguise themselves, like lessons that we have to go through. And some of the harder things last week, I was doing a church service in Petoskey, and I was talking about, it was the journey through to healing. And I was talking about some of the life lessons that I've learned along the way that sometimes as I was going through them felt like very, very dark, very, very hard times. But in retrospect, now I am really thankful for all of those things that I went through, because it helped me to find my strength. It helped me, each lesson taught me different things that I've brought into being the person that I am today, and having the compassion that I have as well. So think about the quality of your gratefulness in each of the things that you're thankful for as you're reflecting. The other thing with the definition is the readiness to show appreciation and to return kindness as part of gratitude. And that varies a lot from person to person, and with what you have going on and what you feel welling up within yourself. But it's a good thing to think about, how readily do you show appreciation, and how quickly and heartily do you return kindness when it's shown to you? Do you feel like you even recognize when kindnesses are shown to you? Or do you have a spot within yourself sometimes, if our self-confidence is a little lower, we might not even recognize when kindness is shown to us. So it's really good to keep your eyes open and observe what kindnesses are shown, often even from strangers as well as those who love you, and then return that kindness. And it can be done in such simple ways. Just if seeing a stranger and complimenting them on something that you like about them, even complimenting them on their smile or what they're wearing or something. Try and find that little detail that maybe is sometimes missed, that maybe people don't recognize, and letting them know. Let people know that you love and appreciate. Tell them what you love about them. Instead of just saying that I love you, tell them I love you because of this, or I love that you are this, or that you do this. And it really brings an even greater depth or a deeper level of quality to the gratitude that you feel within yourself and that you expand and raise up in others. When you share kindness and when you make other people happy around you, you can't help but feel that happiness start to rise within yourself. And it's really good to return that kindness back to yourself sometimes too, because we are at this season where gratitude is very abundant and everyone is talking about it. It's a good time to think about what you're grateful for within yourself too, not just what you have or the people that are around you. Often we talk about being grateful for our family or significant other or our pets or our job or whatever that's around us. Think about what you're grateful for within yourself. Think about the growth that you've had within yourself, the things that you've learned, the way you've developed yourself. Think about what it is about who you are, not what you do, but who you are, what you're grateful for. And when you focus on that, those things are going to really start to expand and magnify. And it's going to help you to see the journey that you're on. And it's going to help you to see the light at the end of the tunnel and to really allow your light to shine. You should always let your light shine. Never let anyone ever dim your light, including yourself. Self-talk is such a big thing. So sometimes it's important to turn that gratitude inward and recognize what you're happy with about yourself. The Psychology Today magazine had done an article a while back about what is gratitude. And they had 5 different things that they said are what gratitude is. The first one is an emotion, which I think a lot of people think of. You know, when you think about being grateful for something, it raises up a variety of different emotions, one being that sense of happiness. Sometimes it's a sense of security or familiarity or feelings of safety, different things, but that's a lot of emotion based that comes with gratitude. Another one that I really thought was interesting that they mentioned was that gratitude is recognition of value that is independent of any monetary worth. So it's when you're thinking about what you're grateful for, if you're telling yourself what you're grateful for about yourself, or you're expressing gratitude to other people, or you're thinking about what you're grateful for that is in your life from other places, all of those are things that are things internal that we can really use to make life feel more valuable. And when you express gratitude to other people, it has no cost. There's no monetary value to it, yet it can be so uplifting. It can make such a huge impact when you talk about what you're grateful for. You express to people why you're thankful for them. The other thing that they mentioned was that it's spontaneously generated, which is so true a lot of times. How many times have you had something that was really great that happened and you just felt overwhelmed with, "Oh, that was so great. I feel so grateful. I can't believe this happened to me," or that came through, or I was really hoping for this, and you just get that spontaneous well of emotions that comes up. It's nice to sometimes tap back into that if you feel like you're needing a little bit of a boost. A lot of times I talk about creating a gratitude box, and this is a good time of year to start that if you don't already have a gratitude box, because we just have turned the wheel, which I have not done behind myself actually, but we have just turned that wheel over to the final time of the harvest. And at Samhain, we often talk about starting the new year and the spirituality that I'm in. And so you can start a gratitude box now, and then by the time January 1st comes around, you're already really starting to build on those things that are going to be a well of joy that you can bring from. So if you are ever having a day that you're down and you need a little pick-me-up, reach in and see what's in your gratitude box. And by writing something every day that you're grateful for, and something that just happened that made you smile, or something that maybe surprised you, it might be something small or it might be something really big on certain days, it's going to really create that magnetism, so those things are going to happen more and more. I noticed when I started my own gratitude box a few years ago that I was surprised when I looked back to see how many big memories that I wouldn't have even remembered if I hadn't written them down at the time, because at the time they feel like these momentous things that of course you'll always remember, but you forget until you write it down and you look at it later, because life is full of a lot of things every single day. So that gratitude box can really bring up so much to really help you throughout life, now and into the future. The other thing that the magazine mentioned was that gratitude is an affirmation of goodness. And a lot of times in this world, and this goes back to sometimes we have that negative self-talks within ourselves, sometimes we doubt ourselves a little bit, and it's not just you that doubts yourself. Most people around you are questioning themselves and wondering, where did they do good? Where could they do better? What's everybody thinking about me? And it's a journey to learn to shut all of those thoughts out. But in the meantime, if you have that affirmation of goodness and you share that with other people, that's helping them so much with affirming that they're on the right track. Just telling people that letting them know that you see them for who they are, and that they are good, and that they deserve to be here, and that they've contributed to making the world a better place, that they made you smile, or that, the affirmation, validation is such a big thing, and it's so easy to give that. It's harder sometimes to remember to give it to yourself, but the more you give it to yourself, the more you're going to start finding it's easier to have that affirmation that you give yourself, the validation. So giving it, sharing it with others, and then you can even at night maybe just have an affirmation that you say for yourself as well. Something that not just is an affirmation of what you're trying to create in life or what you're trying to bring in, but an affirmation of how you did good today. It may have been a challenging, really hard day and you got frustrated with certain things, but think about, reflect on before bed what you did good that day and what really worked that day. And that's going to set your brain to really focus on that during sleep. You're going to wake up thinking about the good that you did instead of beating yourself up. And it's a good way to bring up that self-gratitude, the internal gratitude within yourself. The last thing that they had mentioned was that gratitude is the degree actually, this was a different thing. So it's not what gratitude is, but this was a different point in that the degree of experiencing gratitude really varies from person to person, and so does the willingness to express gratitude. For some people, they just see life through the eyes of seeing everything that they're grateful for all the time, and sometimes for people, you really have to train the brain to see the things that you're grateful for, because sometimes our brain produces, a lot of times it comes down to the chemicals in the brain, sometimes it produces chemicals that have it where we see all the things that we need to work on, or that we wish were better, or that we are frustrated with, and you really have to train your brain at that point to stop focusing on those things and instead to lift your eyes up to what is working and what's flowing in, and really allowing that shift to happen. As you train your brain, you're also starting to change the magnetism, so more of the good things are going to start flowing into your life, and you'll start seeing that as we enter this next year. 2020 is going to be a very, very special year. It's a big year numerology-wise, and there's a lot of great things that are going to be coming. The more you work on preparing yourself now and having your foundation set and figuring out how to train your brain, how to see the things you're grateful for, and learning to draw that to yourself very naturally, the more you're going to get out of 2020 as we move into this year that's going to bring a lot of feelings of stability, some feelings of security are going to come back. We've had some very numerology-wise, we've had some very rocky, harder years the last 3 years, and not the 4 year, which is 2020. You add the 2 and the 2 together, you get a 4, which is all about your foundation, your stability, the security feeling that starts to finally come back after it feels like things have been so rocky for 3 years. So Numerology is a fascinating thing, and the fact that it has 2 zeros in it really, really amplifies the element of that feeling of security, stability, foundation, safety. So I hope that gives you some things to look forward to. I'm going to go ahead and get this wheel changed, so next week we'll be at the right marking on the wheel. And I have missed all of you. It has been a while since we've been recording the live talks. We usually do it every single week, and this was actually the first break that we've had in the 3 or 4 years that we've been doing the videos. So I kind of expanded on my break a little longer than expected, but it is very good to be back. Please remember, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. You can hit the bell button to choose how often you want to receive our notifications. And if you haven't already liked our Facebook page, that would be great too. We have some exciting things coming up in December, and those will all be posted on the Facebook page. And we will soon be posting the calendar that we have set for the next year on the Facebook page too. Subscribe on YouTube, and we will see you next week. Thank you.